English for a long time, but you still feel stuck and you feel like your English is not improving, this video is for you. My name is Michael Anton. I'm the founder of English at the Ready, and I've helped millions of people online improve their English. Now, if you feel stuck, if you feel like your English is not improving, you need to understand that there's a good chance you're not actually stuck. Instead, what's really happening is your time frame has shifted. You see, when you first started learning English, you measured things in days and weeks. For example, today I'm going to learn the parts of speech. Tomorrow I'm going to learn conjugations. The next day I'm going to learn phrasal verbs on a specific topic. You're dividing things into days. You're thinking very short term. Now, as you reach the B1, B2, and C1 levels, your time frame expands. You need to think in months and years. The more advanced you get, the slower your progress becomes. And shifting this time frame makes your progress feel slower, but it's not. It's just less obvious. Maybe you've heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect. The more you learn, the more aware you are of your mistakes. When you're at the complete beginner stage, improvement feels fast. You feel like you know everything. You feel like you're improving very quickly. But as you learn more about the language and you begin to study it in more depth, you realize you don't actually know as much as you thought. You start to notice small details that you didn't before. And suddenly you think your English is bad. You might even feel stupid. You might even feel like you're not able to improve your English. So I want you to think of the big picture. You need to accept that fluency is a journey, and it's a long-term journey. I like to divide things into short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. A short-term goal might be learning 10 words this week, learning 10 new words on a specific topic. That's a very short-term goal. A mid-term goal might be 3 months or 6 months in the future. For example, you might want to pass the IELTS, or you might want to pass a job interview in English in the next 3 months. And a longer-term goal would be fluency, which, as I've talked about a lot on this channel, is simply your ability to express yourself without letting language be a barrier. So your long-term goal might be to feel the same way in English as you do in your native language. Now, this is not always possible. You'll probably always feel a bit more confident in your native language. But if you can get your English close to that point, I would definitely consider you fluent. So we have short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. Now, take a step back for a moment. Think back to where you were 6 months ago. Think back to where you were 12 months ago, 2 years ago with your English. Consider the progress you've made over that longer period of time. You can see that feeling stuck is actually a sign you've advanced to a higher stage of learning. If you're watching this and you think, great, Michael, I still feel stuck. In fact, I know I'm stuck. I've been stuck for the last 6 months, for the last year. You need to stop and ask yourself, why? Why do you actually feel this way? Why haven't you made any improvement? Is what you've been doing really working? Have you been learning things in a way that actually leads to growth? Or have you been repeating bad habits? That's a huge problem. Forming bad habits and repeating them, something you want to avoid at all costs. And lastly, are you focusing on the right skills for your current level? Generally, you should always aim to challenge yourself. If learning English is easy for you, you're doing something wrong. The only way to improve in life is to challenge yourself. We have an expression, no pain, no gain. Now, I'm not saying learning English has to be painful, but I am saying that you need to challenge yourself. You need to put yourself in situations that are uncomfortable, because this is how you grow. Now, I also want you to think about your problems. In your opinion, what is the biggest problem you're facing in English? Write that down. Pause this video, write that down, and think about what's actually stopping you from becoming fluent and from making progress. A lot of students say they can understand English, but they can't speak. This is a very common problem. And the solution is to speak more, to train that skill set, because speaking and listening are two different skills. If you can understand English, but you can't speak, you need to speak more. If you can speak, but you can't understand, you need to listen more. You need to expose yourself to different accents on TV, in movies, and on podcasts. I know a lot of you guys comment down below that you can understand my English, but you can't understand other English speakers. Now, first of all, I'm very flattered by that, but I will tell you, you need to listen to other English speakers, because not everybody speaks as clearly or as slowly as I do in my lessons. That's just the reality of the world. You need to expose yourself to different ways of speaking, different accents, differences in speed, because some people speak more quickly and some people speak more slowly. Again, if you struggle with a Scottish accent, watch a TV show which features a Scottish actor. If you struggle with the Australian accent, watch Australian news. You can find lots of different Australian news channels here on YouTube. Another problem that students face is they can't improve their accent or pronunciation. If that's you, you need to shadow native speakers. There are lots of videos out there on shadowing, but the thing is, when you watch somebody speak, when you're watching their mouth, you need to pay extra attention to how they're moving their mouth, how they're moving their lips, how they're forming the sounds, how their jaw moves. Is it going to the side? Is it going down? Because this plays a huge role in how we form sounds, and it has a significant impact on our accent. So watch how native speakers' mouths move and imitate those movements. Another common problem is that you might lack confidence when you speak English. You might feel nervous, you might feel shy. I have several videos on that topic on this channel, but long story short, the only way to overcome this is, again, to get out of your comfort zone, to put yourself in difficult situations and speak some more. Now, the truth is, at some level, you probably know what you should be doing. You probably know your problems. You probably know that you need to fix them. You also know that you're not doing that. It's so easy to push things off to later, but at the end of the day, the best time to improve your English is now. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. Not next week, not next year, now. And if you'd like to improve your English with us, click the link in the description below. We have several programs available that are by application only. So if you are looking for a program to expand your vocabulary, improve your grammar, your listening, your reading, your writing, your speaking, click the link below to learn more and to apply. Don't forget to subscribe to English at the Ready here on YouTube, leave a like, and let me know in the comments. What is your biggest problem with English? Is it speaking? Is it confidence? Is it grammar? Let me know in the comments. I love to read your comments, and I'll see you in the next video.